So today we're looking at angles in quadrilaterals, and quadrilateral just means a shape that has four sides. So you'll see here 1, 2, 3, and 4 sides. And there's a rule for the interior angles. So these four angles on the inside, I've called them A, B, C, and D. If you add them all together, they'll equal 360 degrees. And the rule is actually the same for exteriors. So E, F, G, and H on the outside also all add up to 360. So we can use this to solve for missing angles. So find angle Z. Because this has four sides, these interior angles, Z, 50, 80, and 100, all have to add up to 360. And then we're just going to isolate for Z. So we'll keep Z on the left, and then 360 can stay on the right, it's already there. 50, 80, and 100 all need to go over to the right side, and they will be subtracted. So 360 minus 50 minus 80 minus 100 is 130. So then we know that Z is 130 degrees, this angle here. Here we have 3 out of 4 of our exterior angles, and we're missing W. So as we can see here, all 4 of the exterior angles add up to 360. So we have W plus 97 plus 60 plus 130. All of those together have to equal 360. So we'll keep the W on the left. I'm going to have to move the equal sign over. I didn't leave myself enough space. The 360 will stay on the right. Then minus 97, minus 60, and minus 130. So 360 minus 97 minus 60 minus 130 is 73. So this angle here is 73 degrees. When you have a parallelogram, so it's still a quadrilateral, which means that these all have to add up to 360, but these two sides are parallel and these two sides are parallel. Opposite angles are going to be equal. So these two are going to be the same, and these two are going to be the same. So X is going to equal 135, because the opposite angle is 135, and Y is going to equal 45 degrees, because the opposite angle is 45. And if you were to take those two different angles and add them together, you would actually get 180. So basically the little angle and the big angle add up to 180. And it could be this little angle and this big angle, or this one and this one. Any combination of the bigger and the smaller add up to 180. And all 4 of them together add up to 360. So let's have a look here. It says find angles M, N, and O. So this is a parallelogram, which means that these two have to be equal and these two have to be equal. So N is going to equal 30 degrees. And we know that the small angle and the big angle together has to equal 180. So that means that 30 plus O has to equal 180. So we want to work out what O is, so we'll take the 180, we'll subtract the 30, and O equals 150. And because this equals 150, the opposite angle also has to equal 150. So both M and O are 150 degrees. Sometimes you'll get a problem where you have to find a bunch of different letters, a bunch of different missing angles, and you just take it one at a time. So here, for example, to find A, I can't use the 360 rule because we're missing 2 angles. But I can use the fact that this is a straight line, so A plus 130 has to add up to 180. So I'm just isolating for A, so the 130 on the other side will be subtracted, and you'll get 50 degrees. then, and just to make it easier, I'm going to write it in here. B we can't find yet because we don't know what C is, but we can now work out what C is because 50 plus 50 plus 110 plus C has to add up to 360 because all four of these angles have to add up to 360. So I'll go 50 plus 50 plus 110 plus C equals 360. So we want to get C on its own. So we're going to move the 50, 50, and the 110 to the other side as minuses. And you'll get 360 minus 50 minus 50 minus 110 is 150 degrees. So now we have A equals 50, we have C equals 150, and I'll just write that in here. We can now work out what B is because these two together because it's a straight line, have to be 180. So B plus 150, B plus 150 has to equal 180, which means that B equals 180 minus 150, so B equals 30. So now we have A, B, and C. We just have D and E left. And D and 110 have to equal 180 because they're a straight line. So we can do D plus 110 equals 180, which means that 180 minus 110 equals D. So D equals 70 degrees. And finally, E plus 50 has to equal 180. So E plus 50 equals 180, which means that E equals 180 minus 50. So E equals 130 degrees. So piece by piece, using the rules that we know about angles, we've done A, B, C, D, and E. And finally, for the last question, we have, this is hard to see, sorry, that's 50 degrees. This is 145, and then we have x plus 5 and x. So we have to find x. So we know that all four of these together have to add up to 360. So 50 plus 145 plus x plus 5 equals 360. So what I'm going to do to make this a little bit easier is collect like terms first. So this x plus x can be 2x, and then 50 plus 145 is 195, plus 5 is 200. So I've just added these three numbers together to get 200, and these two x's together to get 2x. So now to solve for 2x, I need to move the 200 to the other side. So you'll get 360 minus 200. And you'll get 2x equals 160. And then finally, to get rid of the 2, I'll divide it on the other side. So 160 divided by 2 is 80. So then I found that x equals 80.